You make my world a better place.
Yes!
We'll get you walking again soon.
That's good. Right now I'm on my way to see a familiar face, but even though I know Pam from Edgars Mission quite well, the problem she's called me in for is apparently like nothing else I've ever seen before.
Chris has been called to a special animal sanctuary on the outskirts of Melbourne.
G'day, Pam.
Howdy.
To meet a fugitive in trouble.
How you going? Good to see you. Now, a sheep.
You've got to see this one, Chris. He's like nothing you've ever seen before. The poor fellow, he's only just come to us, and we really need your help because we've got to get him the best welfare outcome. He's in a bit of a bad way.
Let's have a look at him. Where is
Okay,
he?
he's over here.
Oh, yeah.
You'll pick him up straight away, yeah. Yeah.
Look at the size of it. When I first see this sheep, all I see is a big round mound of wool with a little face in the front. So where did he come from?
Legend has it that he survived the 2009 bushfires that in Kilmore East, and he's just been roaming through the bush since then.
So he's escaped shearing for, what, at least 5 years?
Yeah, it's amazing that he's alive today.
It's extraordinary he can even walk around with that amount of wool on.
It is, and you can see he's having a little bit of trouble walking there.
I mean, the worry I have is that he could have any sort of problem lurking underneath that wool. I mean, fly strike, any sort of skin infection in there. So really, before we even think about shearing, we need to work out whether he can handle shearing. Let's have a look at him.
Okay, as you can see our friend down here. His name's Ben Hall, and he's certainly a bit of a bushranger.
This sheep is named after a famous Australian bushranger, Ben Hall, who evaded capture for years and years and actually lived in this local area. You okay if I grab him?
Yeah, you hop in there.
Ben Hall, the bushranger, was eventually captured and justice was delivered. Catching this Ben Hall could prove to be even more difficult.
Well, it's Ben 1, Chris 0.
Let me get you fixed.
5-month-old Tora has been brought into the Bondi Referral Hospital SASH after a freak accident.
She was on hubby's ute on his way to work an hour away from home in Newcastle, and she snapped a collar and jumped out of the ute, and her leg's just virtually hanging off.
The terrified pup fled into the bush.
We used Facebook and we just plastered every sign and got everyone in the area to share it, and we weren't giving up on her.
After an agonising week, Tora was eventually found with shocking leg injuries.
Sarah, I'm Andrew.
How are you going?
Good. Who we got here?
Tora.
Hey, Tora. How are you? You had a rough time. That's no good. Andrew.
I'm Kelly.
Kelly, how are you?
Hi, nice to meet you.
Hey, what's up? You've been falling off backs of things, trucks and things. That's no good, is it? Yeah. Come on in. Yowza. All right, let's have a look.
Specialist surgeon Dr. Andrew Marchevsky is hoping X-rays will tell him just how much damage Tora sustained in the fall.
So she's popped off the very top of her thigh bone in a hip joint.
Poor baby.
Looking at Tora's X-rays, I can see that she's got a fracture at the top of her hip. The hip's a ball and socket joint, and it's the ball that's actually got a crack in it and cracked off. These are really nasty fractures in people, and they're really painful, so she's going through hell, really. So really what we're going to need to do is just drive 3 relatively small, fine pins up there and get it all to attach.
Yeah. Whatever she needs done, we'll do.
All right. So you want to come and see where she's going to be?
I don't even want to think about leaving her right now, and I know she's in the right hands, but leaving her is not, just not something I want to do. I don't want to leave her.
Tora's surgery is scheduled for later today.
I'm sorry, darling. I'm sorry.
But Andrew is already feeling the pressure.
The greatest fear I guess I have is this fracture might not come together. We might do this surgery and it might just fall apart in a couple of weeks' time. And that's a very real risk for her.
I just think 2 people, to be honest, aren't quite enough.
At Edgars Mission, Chris has met his match. He's trying to capture the infamous Ben Hall.
I don't like being beaten.
The wily fugitive sheep has spent 5 years on the run after fleeing devastating bushfires.
It's not that I couldn't catch him, it's just that I thought it would be easier and quicker
We didn't want Chris to
to have you guys.
Ben is limping under the weight of his heavy fleece, and Chris is concerned the thick matted wool could be causing other health problems.
With 5 years of wool growth on top of Ben, there could be just about anything lurking underneath that fleece. From bacterial infections to parasite infestations, he could even be fly blown. Good job.
putting the cuffs on now.
I know, it's like the law finally caught up with Ben Hall.
Chris, Pam and the boys now need to move their captive to the shed.
Yep. Let's go. So we'll walk him. Oh, he's bucking and everything.
But Ben's not going anywhere without a fight.
Okay, buddy.
Okay, Ben.
Let's just go with it now. Come on.
Ben Hall is an incredible miracle. He's a testament to the will to live.
It's amazing. He's now taking 3 of us for a walk.
Just like you and I would try and survive the best we could out in the wild, Ben Hall has done that and he's done it admirably, but his time was up.
I'm going to try the impossible here. He's got, you know, a foot of wool there.
And that must be pulling on his skin too, mustn't it, poor fellow? I couldn't believe when I put my hand in, it was the length of my arm, that much wool. That is an incredible amount of wool for a sheep to have when considering we shear them, it's about that much wool.
I'm trying to listen through a lot of wool, but I can just make out his heartbeat there. So, I mean, it's certainly elevated. Just everyday life for him is a stress at the moment. So let's shear him.
Okay, let's do it, yeah.
Fiercely protective Pam can't relax. She's now worried about how Ben will cope with being shorn.
Look, the worst case scenario with these sheep is that they could suffer a heart attack because of the stress that they're under. We're lucky that we've got Chris on hand to monitor him throughout the procedure. I wouldn't have peace of mind if we didn't have that happening today.
How are you? You're Shearer. Hey, Tony, I'm Chris.
Nice to meet you, Chris.
You want a hand with that?
If you can grab my toolbox, that'd be good, thank you.
Yeah.
Shearer Tony Adams has now arrived to give runaway sheep Ben Hall his much-needed haircut.
Ever seen that much wool?
No. There's 4 or 5 years on him.
Yeah, that's what we think.
We are very, very fussy with anyone who is allowed near our animals, and we have the most wonderful shearer that we've found who's very gentle and compassionate with our sheep.
Should be right to tip him. Hello, mate. So you want to grab him all by yourself? Yep. Tony weighs about half of what I do, but seems to have about 3 times the skill when it comes to catching sheep, because he goes pretty close to nabbing Ben all by himself.
Usually, if you tilt the head one way, roll him his back end.
Yep.
Not a good look.
That's right. Pam?
Yep.
It's quickly becoming obvious why Ben has been so hard to subdue.
He's a ram. He's all man. The first thing we notice the moment Ben goes onto his back, well, it's hard to ignore. He has enormous testicles. Wow, that's quite something. Most lambs have something called lamb marking, where they're castrated, they're given an ear tag, they're drenched, they get the full works. Obviously, Ben wasn't around for that day. He escaped with everything intact.
See that? Another month and that'll be fly struck.
Yeah.
All through here. You're lucky, mate.
He's always going to find this overwhelming. There's just no real other option. Shearing isn't just like a simple haircut. For a sheep, it's a full-on audio-visual experience. The stress of those sounds and being forced into a new position for that period of time, it can be enough to cause a heart attack, which can kill him.
Come on, little Tora. Time for sleep. Time for sleep.
At SASH, 4-month-old Tora urgently needs an operation to try to repair her badly fractured hip. But first, specialist surgeon Dr. Andrew Marchevsky needs to x-ray the Staffy.
The big problem we've got with Tora is not only that she's got a fracture, but it's been sitting there for a week trying to heal, and it's probably trying to heal in the wrong spot. So I've got to get some x-rays so I know exactly what's going on. Good girl. You're all right.
Urgent one is coming tomorrow.
Oh, wow. I mean, these x-rays just show that she's got really nasty fracture and the bone ends are quite a long way away from each other. We're going to basically have to get that to fit back into that little part of the bone there. It's going to be tricky.
Tora is wheeled immediately into surgery.
Righto, let's go. Let's just give him a quick little check halfway through now, mate. Just...
At Edgars Mission, Chris is closely monitoring Ben Hall to make sure the shock of a long overdue shearing doesn't lead to a heart attack.
For an animal like him, who's a prey animal, to be held in Australia and not being able to move, that's one step away from being eaten by a predator, so it's incredibly stressful for the animal.
Okay, he's coping. Yep. All right.
He's coping better than me, I'm very stressed.
I can tell. Do you want to put it on you as well?
Tony is struggling to remove 5 years' worth of heavy matted wool.
The biggest challenge that Tony's facing is the weight of that fleece is pulling on the skin. Each time it pulls the skin out, it means that those shears of Tony's all too easily nick the skin. It's the unfortunate byproduct of how much wool Ben's carrying. Wow, amazing job.
I hope you feel better, mate.
That's a great outcome. Oh, and he's having a wee. Great.
Probably never felt so easy, has it?
That's right, yeah, wow.
Once Tony is finished, the pile of wool is bigger than Ben. And Ben's not a small sheep, so it's time to weigh it.
He was carrying that around.
It's decent.
No wonder he's fit.
Yeah. You got any scales, Pam? There you go. Almost 18 kilos. Not bad. Is that your biggest ever?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
He's definitely a good boy.
With Ben's excess wool removed, Chris is anxious to investigate what's causing his nasty limp.
God, you're strong. Come here, buddy boy.
Yeah, you can see he's not liking that.
All right, that's good. We've done the best job that we possibly could, but it was still there a week and we've still got some worries ahead of us because it'll be 2 or 3 weeks before we know if we've been successful. It's not over yet. We just have to wait.
You're coping well. Oh, it's okay. Settle down.
I mean, immediately he's actually quite hesitant about me grabbing this leg.
At Edgars Mission, Chris is trying to pinpoint the cause of Ben Hall's painful limp.
So he's got some arthritis in this elbow joint of his.
Right.
Now, that could be the result of an injury he's picked up, or it could be wear and tear. I'd say it's probably a little bit of both. With dogs and cats, what we say with arthritis is get them to lose weight. He just lost 18 kilos.
Yeah.
So he's going to immediately feel better on that leg.
Yeah.
Because he's not having to carry the weights around.
With the additional help of an anti-inflammatory, Ben's limp should soon be a thing of the past.
He's been through an enormous ordeal today, an enormous ordeal. But he's one tough sheep. He's probably the toughest sheep you'll ever meet, our Ben Hall.
It's going to look like a purple Dalmatian.
To finish, Chris is applying antiseptic spray to help heal Ben's skin and prescribing some extra special TLC.
So he's pretty close to being back on track now. His life's taken a dramatic change.
Yeah.
The one thing I'd recommend, though, is that he stays in here for the next couple of days.
Yeah.
It would be like, right now, for him, taking a kid from the deserts of Australia and all of a sudden he's gone to Antarctica.
Yeah, wow.
It seems ridiculous because it's quite mild right now.
Yeah.
But for him, that's just been a huge change. While being shorn does seem like the end of Ben Hall's criminal ways, I wouldn't be so sure. It's been a real team effort.
Yeah.
But I think our fugitive is going to be feeling fine. I mean, he's already...
He's raring to go.
Yeah. I'd be reinforcing the fences at Edgars Mission because this guy knows how to escape. He likes his freedom. He'll be looking for it again.
There you are. Hi, Tora. How are you? You had a big day yesterday, didn't you? You feeling all right?
Next day at SASH, little Tora is recovering from the surgery to repair her shattered hip.
Poor little Tora, she's been through so much. She's fallen out the back of a ute, she's broken hips, and then she's had to undergo a major surgery. With a poor little puppy that's been through that much, you're always a little bit worried how they're going to recover. Hey, you're so much happier. Can I have a bit of a feel? Good girl. Good girl. That does feel better, doesn't it, sweetie? Tora's really, really bright this morning. I think she was obviously in a whole heap of pain before, and now that we've fixed the fracture, it's just already feeling much better. And I'm really pleased with how she's going.
The Staffy is in good spirits, but Andrew wants to keep the pup as quiet as possible to give the injury the best chance to heal.
Tora thinks that she's just about fixed now and wants to start running around like a normal 4-month-old puppy, but she's not fixed, and we've got to be really careful with her. Otherwise, she'll undo all that good work that we've done. All right, we'll see you a bit later. Oh.
I guess you could call this a house call to a place where, well, not everything is as it seems.
Chris is answering an unusual SOS from a film set in Melbourne.
And turn over. Rolling. Okay, and action.
A movie called Oddball is underway. It's about a colony of penguins which is saved and then protected by a Maremma guard dog. The call for help has come from concerned producer Richard Keddy, who's worried about one of the film's major stars.
We've had a few issues with the animals, in particular one of our dogs. We've got an understudy dog, Meiko, who got really, really sick. We don't know, we think he's picked up a bug or something.
That way. Yeah, good boy.
The welfare of the dog is everything to us. It's like the welfare of our actors. He's one of our key actors. So if something happens to our dogs, our movie stops.
Richard, how are you?
Good to see you.
How are you? Good to see you too. G'day. How are you? All right.
Hey, Kai.
This isn't the dog you worry about. I mean,
No,
he looks fine.
No, not this one. It's his understudy.
Yeah?
Yeah, he's the one that's having a little bit of a problem at the moment.
Okay. All right, where is this dog you're worried about?
I've got him isolated from this one, so we can go and have a look if you like.
No worries.
Okay. All right. Okay, come on, let's go. Good boy.
It is a big concern for me because, nobody wants to see an animal sick. But also, I'm very close to Meiko. To see him sort of go down so quickly, it was a real concern.
Good boy. Just over the last few hours, Meiko has had a lot of vomiting and a lot of diarrhoea. It's come on quickly too. So he's normally pretty lively?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. At home, he just runs around like a loony. He loves playing. He's very, very active at home.
So this is very quiet for him?
This is very quiet, yeah.
So something's obviously stirred him up pretty severely. And you can see, whatever it is knocking the wind out of him. While it's not uncommon to see cases of vomiting and diarrhoea, when they come on quickly like this, they are a cause for concern because this can be a sign of something a lot more serious, like pancreatitis, or even, in a big dog like Meiko, a twisted stomach.
Australian Reptile Park General Manager Tim Faulkner is also answering an SOS.
I've had a call from a mate, Dan. He's about half an hour away from the reptile park up in the mountains, researching frogs. And he called me and said since it started raining a few nights ago, he's had some unexpected visitors. Exactly who those visitors are or what they are, he wouldn't tell me. I'm on my way up there now.
Tim is on his way to the Wattigan State Forest to meet up with evolutionary biologist Daniel O'Brien.
G'day, boys.
How you going, Tim?
Good, mate. How are you?
Yeah, not too bad.
Hey, g'day. Well, I'm intrigued. What's going on?
Oh, well, this rain, it's brought out some creepy crawlies, your time stuff.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
So you've been looking at your frogs?
Yep, last 4 months.
And some of my mates have turned up?
Yep, I don't want to touch them.
We talking 8 legs or no legs?
8 legs, mate.
Oh, yeah?
Yep.
All right, well, where's the site?
Just up here, mate.
Yeah?
Daniel has been studying the breeding habits of the red-backed toadlet for the past 4 months.
So the frogs up here are so unique that the way they breed is pretty unknown to most scientists. So I'm up here to really understanding how these frogs are able to manage to breed successfully in such unpredictable environments.
But in the last few days, some very dangerous intruders have been caught up in Daniel's traps.
First trap?
First trap. So...
Hey, what's going on? The first thing I notice is you're not putting your hand in there.
There's no way I'm putting my hands in these traps.
I thought we were just looking at frogs.
Yeah, frogs, plus a million other things.
Look at that.
Mate, this is why you're here.
We checked the first trap, and it all makes sense. Now I know why he's got me here. Funnel web spiders are coming out now it's rain, and they're getting into his pitfall traps. Not exactly what you want to find when you're researching a toadlet. So you're looking at certainly Australia and possibly the world's deadliest spider.
Jesus.
Hey?
So when that funnel web rears up, you can clearly see how big its fangs are and almost see the venom just dripping off the end of them. So there's no doubt in my mind that if one of those was to latch onto your finger, it'd pump you full of venom.
In the few hours before this all came on, where was he?
He was back at home.
Yeah.
Been out in the paddock for a run in the morning, came straight here. So yeah, it's a bit of a mystery as to why he suddenly got this bug of some sort.
Yeah.
Chris is on a movie set in Melbourne. He's trying to find out what has caused Meiko, one of the film's major stars, to suddenly become ill.
While it's not uncommon to see cases of vomiting and diarrhoea, they are cause for concern. If I'm going to be any chance of working out exactly what's going on with Meiko, he needs a full check right now.
Let's just have a listen. I just want to have a bit of a listen up around his belly here and see what his digestive system's doing.
By listening with the stethoscope, I'm actually trying to hear those little gut sounds. How often those sounds occur tells me how well Meiko's gut is performing.
Okay, so the first thing I can tell you here is that his intestines are contracting a little bit more quickly than we'd normally expect.
Okay.
While a normal dog should have a gut sound about every 3 seconds, Meiko's gut is constantly churning. The sounds never seem to stop.
We're just looking for any signs of pain that he might show as I just squeeze him in the front part of his belly, around where his stomach and liver is. He's just ducking his head a little bit there and shying away when I do that. So given where he's a bit sensitive, which is in the middle part of his belly, that's around where most of his intestines are. So I feel like we can probably localise the issue to there at the moment. Okay, let's get a temperature from him as well.
What that's going to tell us is if he's got a serious infection going on in that area, or whether it's just something internal that's upset his stomach, essentially.
Good boy.
So 38.3. So it's a normal temperature, which is good news.
Yeah.
Without any pain around his pancreas and with a normal temperature, we can rule out pancreatitis and any sort of serious infection. So what we're left with is essentially a gastroenteritis. The most common cause of that is Meiko eating something he shouldn't. If I had to put a bet on it, I'd say that when he was out in the paddock this morning having his walk, he's probably picked up some poo or a little bit of something that was dead.
Yeah.
Had a bit of a swallow of it, thought, geez, that tasted nice, but tasting it the second time wasn't so good. So his body hasn't liked it, and now it's trying to get rid of it. Meiko's going to get 2 treatments from me. First of all, an injection to settle his stomach and stop that feeling of nausea. And then secondly, he's going to get some liquid, which goes through his digestive system, coats everything, and calms it all down.
There you go. Oh, look at that.
Jeez, the training's paid off.
Good boy. Now that Chris has checked him out thoroughly, he'll be ready to go in 24 hours, and that is a big relief.
Obviously, no water for a few more hours, and if he just rests, I think it'll be the best possible thing for him.
Fantastic.
All right.
Thank you very much,
Thanks,
Chris.
Lee.
All right.
No worries.
Catch
See
you
soon.
later. See you.
Cheers.
Come on, mate. Good boy. All right.
Look at that. Now I know why you're not putting your fingers in there.
There's no way.
Look at him. That's a male funnel web spider.
Tim is at the Watagan State Forest, about 30 minutes from the Australian Reptile Park.
That is a big boy.
He's responding to a call for help from Daniel, a researching biologist who's been finding funnel web spiders in his frog traps.
It's understandable that Dan doesn't want to bump into funnel webs in his traps. They're Australia and arguably the world's deadliest spider. If he puts his hand in to grab out a toadlet and gets a nip from a funnel web, he's in real strife. If I can use one of your containers and some tongs, I might show you how to catch him safely without putting your fingers in there. I'll take whatever we catch today home, and please, if you get more, we want them.
OK, you can keep them.
I'm really happy to see funnel webs here, and that's because the Reptile Park is the sole supplier of funnel web venom to make anti-venom. Anyone that gets bitten by a funnel web spider in Australia, their life is saved because of the spiders we milk at the Reptile Park. I find a honey pot like this, that's a good day. First, just put a little bit of moist earth. That's enough. And you should just be able to scoop him up without even flicking him.
Oh, yeah.
And then just keep your fingers away. Sometimes they get their legs on the outside. Put him down in there. One funnel web spider. You think we're going to get a few?
Oh, I reckon we can get a few after this rain.
Jeez, I hope so.
Every day I have to be out here sticking my hands in these buckets, possibly risking myself with these funnel web spiders. So if I can learn how to bottle these up and get them back to the reptile park, I'll probably save myself a bite or two.
Still rolling. Stand by. Action.
In Melbourne, Chris is on the set of Oddball, a movie about a Victorian penguin colony which is protected from foxes by a farmer and his Maremma guard dog.
Cut. Right. Cutting.
He's just treated Meiko, one of the film's major stars. But before he leaves, he wants to meet 6 other noisy little performers.
How you going?
Good. How are you going?
Yeah, all right. The small stars, huh?
The small stars, yeah.
The penguins have travelled from SeaWorld on the Gold Coast to work on the movie.
I'll try to get them over this way so you can hop over the fence. Come on, guys.
In all, there are 6 little penguins on this movie set, and they all have their own personalities, and all those personalities have to be managed by someone. And that someone is Katie.
As animal trainers, it's important to make sure that you watch how they look, how they're behaving, their mobility every morning.
They look like they enjoy their fish.
They love their pilchards.
I'm not saying they're fat, I'm just saying they look in good, healthy condition.
That's our goal. That's our goal. Have happy, healthy birds. Yeah, we're pleased. We're pleased with how they're doing, and I think it's been a challenge, and I think it's a nice learning curve for us to see how much they're capable of.
Not only do they look, they look shiny and they look like they're in great condition, but it's the level of activity and just how mentally aware they are.
Yeah.
They're very inquisitive and always looking around for the next adventure.
Exactly. That's how it appears to us, too. They seem very happy and healthy and really relatively unstressed as far as I'm concerned. Yeah.
Sure, you can tell a lot about a penguin just by looking at the condition of them, and these guys are certainly looking well fed. They've got nice, thick plumage, and they're shiny, which is usually a good indication of health. But also, there's something else I look at. I just watch them and see how they behave. And at the moment, you can see they're really moving as a group. They're inquisitive and they're interested in their environment, which is always a good sign, because an active mind in penguins is a healthy mind.
They're having a good time. I think it's a bit of fun and diverse, and they're doing all right. They're doing all right, yeah.
And now these pint-sized stars are heading back to work.
Come on, guys, come on. Chip, come on, eat it. Come on.
It's not every day that you're called out to be the vet on a film set. For me now, it's a wrap.
Let it go out. Cut. Right. That was great.
What a wonderful spot.
Just up here, mate.
In the Watagan State Forest, Tim is checking research traps for funnel web spiders.
Nobody home?
Nothing in that one.
Next one.
Continue on.
Heavy rains have lured the dangerous creepy crawlies into the pits, which are meant to catch redback toadlets.
Anyone home?
All right, let's see what we get in this bucket.
We've got a frog and a spider.
Jeez.
We've got both in the same bucket. The first thing that comes to my mind is, have you ever seen a frog hurt from a spider?
Not once.
I think the funnel web venom, I know it's dangerous to humans and invertebrates. Maybe it doesn't affect the frog.
But in the same sense, those frogs have their own toxins that they secrete through their skin that makes them distasteful to predators, so...
An uneasy truce.
Yep, that's it.
I'll get the spider.
Let's get him out of there.
You get your frog. That's another spider for me. I'm a happy boy.
Rightio, now I feel comfortable to put my hand in there.
Yeah. Put that in there. What do you got there?
So this is a little male, it looks like. So these ones have a unique ventral marking, so we can tell who's who.
Look at that.
Amazing, isn't it?
The redback toadlet's just beautiful, and I've never seen one before. It's obvious where they get their name from. But contrasting to that is that Dan flips it over and the pattern on the belly is black and white. And it's like a fingerprint. They're all unique and individual, and that's how he identifies each toadlet.
So we'll process now. Do you want to be scribed?
Yeah, love to.
Sweet.
3.3 grams.
We'll just get a measurement, and that's 33 millimetres. All right, that's good. So we'll release this one.
Okay. So just a scratch here's fine?
Yep, that's good.
With the frog safely released, there's one last trap for Tim to check.
Last trap.
Oh, one more, see what we get.
Oh, I can already see somewhere.
There it is.
You got another spider. Come on, buddy. Spider number 3.
Done and dusted.
Well, mate, they're precious to me. Fair income they are. And if you keep catching them now you know how, I'd come up here and pick them up day after day.
Well, I'm sure I can keep them coming.
Yeah, please. Very important for us.
No worries.
I'm happy. I've got 3 spiders. That's not bad for a morning's work. They'll come back with me now to the reptile park and they'll become a part of our venom program. See you, mate.
See you, Tim.
Come on, buddy. He is vicious. He's not going to have any trouble milking. As soon as I touch a leg or he hit that surface, boom, he's up, fangs showing. That's exactly what we want.
Back at the park, Tim is about to take on one of the most dangerous jobs, milking a funnel web spider.
The Australian Reptile Park is the sole supplier of funnel web venom. We keep up to 300 funnel webs at any one time, and that's because it can take up to 1,000 milkings to make 1 ampule of antivenom.
Today's contributor to the venom bank is one of the lethal spiders Tim took from the Wattigan State Forest.
Our little mate here today is a male funnel web spider, and although he is much smaller than females, he's 5 times more toxic, which makes him 5 times more dangerous. This is how we extract the venom. So this is a glass cylinder, and this pipe leads to a small vacuum. So what we actually do is when the spider rears up, there we go, there's venom on the end of the fang. There we go, now I've got it. It's only a small amount, but it all adds up. In that is the venom of 1,000 spiders, and we're now sending that off to the Commonwealth Serum Laboratories to be made into antivenom. So now, Dan's redback toadlet research program is helping our life-saving antivenom program. I'm glad he called.
All right. Come on, Tora, come on. I need to get you on a table and have a look.
Next day at SASH, little survivor Tora is continuing to show improvement.
So Tora's looking really good after surgery. I've just got to check her again now, but I think she's just about right to go home. That feels good. That's very good, isn't it? It's nice and smooth when I'm moving it around. It's not crunching at all like it was before, and that tells me that it's all sitting together really nicely, so I'm pretty happy. All right, Tora, time to go home. Hey, you go and see your mum?
It's been an emotional ordeal for all of Tora's family. They can't wait to be reunited with the courageous pup.
I'm looking forward to having a home where I can just have her in my lap each day and give her all the cuddles she needs for a long time to come.
Where's your mum? That's the most important thing. Who dat? Who dat? Settle, pedal, settle. Don't run around too much.
She's too crazy.
Yeah, I know. She's a little happier than she was when she got here.
She's looking really good. She's looking like our puppy again, jumping all over the place. So it's, yeah, really good to see.
Everyone is thrilled with Tora's progress, but there's still a long recovery ahead.
It'll be a couple of months before I'll say to you, go off and she can do anything.
Yeah.
Because you've got to let the bone get much stronger, and it'll take a little while, again, just because of the type of fracture it is and her age. But, you know, so far so good. So I'm as happy as I could be, really, considering what we had. She's done really well. Tora's a really lucky dog. Another couple of days and we wouldn't have been able to do anything for her. But now she's got a great chance of being able to lead a normal life, and that's just a fantastic ending for Tora and Sarah.
Thanks very much.
All right. That's a pleasure. Give me a call if you've got any worries. Yeah. Otherwise, I'll see you in about 10. Oh! Bye-bye, Charlie. It's obvious that the whole family is really thankful and grateful, but for me, the best thanks of all is that little handshake from Talia.
Thanks,
all right,
Andrew.
cheers.
Thank you.
Pleasure. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Hi, I'm Dr. Danny Dusek from Bondi Vet. If you love our show and want to see more, plus some amazing content about pets and how to care for them, hit the subscribe button. Click that little notification bell and we'll see you on our next video.